Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Aja Goare. A murder investigation is underway today in Sheridan, Wyoming, where a man was shot and killed late last night. A man called police just after 11 p.m. to report his friend had knocked on the door and said he shot someone at their apartment complex. Police responded to the scene at 1410 North Main Street to find the victim dead from an apparent gunshot wound. Officers located 33-year-old Christopher McLaughlin LeBoy and arrested him. The victim's name has not been released, and it's unclear what led to the murder. LeBoy is being held at the Sheridan County Jail. He's expected to make his initial court appearance this afternoon, where he faces 1 count of first-degree murder. At least 17 people are dead after storms in Southern California triggered mudslides. Many more are still missing. CBS's Carter Evans reports.
The debris field from the deadly Montecito mudslides covers 30 square miles. Search dogs are assisting in the ongoing rescue effort, but for responders, time is running out. Friends and family members are joining in the search as well.
Aja Goare, she's missing.
Aja Goare is desperately trying to find his mom, Josie.
We're just gonna go down the creek and see what we can find.
He says she was swept away, clinging to her home's back door. Her boyfriend survived.
He hanged on there for 6 hours until they rescued him in the morning, calling out her name all night long.
Her bedroom's upstairs. If she just would have stayed upstairs.
The mudslides destroyed at least 100 homes, damaged 300 more, mangled cars, and downed power lines. Even seasoned rescue teams are shocked by the magnitude of the destruction.
We don't see this. I mean, it is complete devastation. Multiple homes that are completely destroyed. And still, we have a lot of people that are unaccounted for.
Oh my God, Mom!
Marco Farrell's cell phone video captures the moment the powerful wave of mud and debris roared downhill.
I basically ran for my life. I ran as fast as I could, made it back to my house within about 30 seconds of the front of the flash flood hitting.
This mudslide will have a long-term impact even for people whose homes were not damaged. The water infrastructure here was significantly damaged, and there's no timeline for repair on that. And the 101 freeway, well, that's still got mudslides in various locations, and it's not expected to reopen until next week. Carter Evans, CBS News, Montecito.
At this hour, 8 people are confirmed missing. Here in Montana, a snowmobiler from Idaho is presumed dead after a snowmobile was found partially buried in an avalanche south of West Yellowstone. A search and rescue team is still searching for the man who went missing near Reyes Peak. The Gallatin National Forest Avalanche Center says today the avalanche happened in the Caribou-Targhee National Forest in the Centennial Range. Snowpack in that area remains under a tremendous amount of stress due to heavy snowfall since Tuesday. We turn now to the weather scene with Ed McIntosh, and the story today is a warm-up.
Well, as we get into the next couple of days, we got to give everybody a little bit of hope, Asia, as we start looking into, especially this afternoon, very cold across the eastern plains of Montana. You see the showers starting to move into the west, and temperatures as chilly as sub-zero readings through Canada, over into the Dakotas, and across northern and eastern Montana. But notice the warmer air around Portland, Boise, even western Montana, not as chilly. So as the chance of snow starts to move away from the western portion of the state, and you'll be glad to see that, warmer air will start to follow in behind starting over the weekend, and it looks like it could linger into toward the middle of next week. We're going to talk more about that coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Ed. We'll check back in. It took a jury less than an hour to convict a Great Falls man of attempted murder for a stabbing attack last year. Stacy Trujillo was found guilty in Cascade County District Court last night. The jury determined Trujillo stabbed a man in the head 5 times outside the rescue mission last February. Trujillo claimed he acted in self-defense, but admitted he did not call police for help. A sentencing date has yet to be set. Still no suspect in custody for Sunday's deadly shooting in Belgrade. Several departments are assisting Belgrade police to keep the crime scene secure. Belgrade's police chief confirms the person of interest taken into custody on Sunday has since been released. 35-year-old Lauren DeWeiss of Bozeman was killed in that shooting, and Ashley Van Hemert is being treated at the hospital for gunshot wounds. An eastern Montana man will spend time in prison for a drunk driving crash that killed his best friend. 21-year-old Thomas Scott, a Poplar area resident, was sentenced in U.S. District Court in Great Falls Wednesday to 15 months in prison. Scott pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter for the death of 19-year-old Joseph Hansen of Culbertson. Prosecutors say Scott was the designated driver in June of 2015, but he drank and then got behind the wheel. On the way home, Scott's vehicle rolled on the Fort Peck Indian Reservation. Hansen died after he was ejected from that vehicle. Upon his release from prison, Scott will be under supervision for 2 years. The Big Arm Post Office in western Montana is temporarily closed after a fire broke out Tuesday night. The U.S. Postal Service is now diverting mail to Big Arm, which serves 250 customers and has 100 post office boxes. Mail delivery, retail services, and post office box distribution will be handled at the Elmo Post Office on Missoula Avenue. Customers may also pick up mail with valid ID at the Elmo Post Office. The cause of that fire is under investigation. The Missoula Children's Museum remains closed after tests deemed the air quality unhealthy in early December. That facility, which sits above a private cigar club, is waiting on further testing to determine if the poor air quality is due to tobacco. Museum patrons have sent complaints of tobacco smell to the Missoula City County Health Department, leading that health board to file a lawsuit against the Fool's End Cigar Club. Close to 2,000 people visit the museum each month, and museum officials say this closure has cost them financially. A last-minute deal fell through, and now demolition is underway on the historic Lockridge Medical Clinic building in Whitefish, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. The Frank Lloyd Wright Building Conservancy released a statement saying a $1.7 million offer was submitted to the building's owner on Monday. That deal, though, fell through over disagreements about the security deposit amount and concern over the building's current condition. The owners plan to demolish the building, first surfaced back in November of 2016. Organizations including the Montana Preservation Alliance and the Frank Lloyd Wright Building Conservancy have been working to put a deal in place for more than a year. It's the first viable Wright-designed building to be demolished in more than 4 decades. Montana's 2018 election season officially kicked off this morning as candidates lined up to file for office. At the state capitol in Helena, 3 Democratic U.S. House candidates were first in line. Democrat Linda Moss of Billings was the first candidate to pay her $1,740 fee to run for Congress. Close behind, 2 other Democratic House candidates, Billings Attorney John Heenan and Grant Keir of Missoula. He's a former land trust director. All 3 are vying for the Democratic nomination to take on Republican Congressman Greg Gianforte. Republican Senate candidate Troy Downing also planned to file this morning. Downing is one of 6 Republicans who may file to run against Democratic U.S. Senator John Tester. Candidate filing in Montana lasts until March 12th. 1,400 acres in the Livingston area are being considered for a lease that could lead to oil and gas extraction. But before any of that drilling happens, residents can express their views during a comment period. At least one parcel of land sits near the Livingston Airport. Others are southeast of town and Interstate 90. The BLM says this is an uncommon area for this type of request. Even if the lease is purchased by a company interested in what's below, it could be years before drilling would start. That comment period runs through Saturday and is open to all Montana residents. Bozeman's Yellowstone International Airport sees its 8th record year of travelers. The airport saw nearly 1.2 million passengers in 2017. That's an increase of about 8%. Airport officials say the increase in traffic has a positive effect on the Gallatin Valley economy. Still ahead on the noon news, the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey still felt in parts of Texas. We'll bring you an update. But first, Ed has our weather forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching